Okay, you've probably heard the term AI agent thrown around a lot lately, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, most of the explanations out there are either way too technical or just super vague. So, if you want to understand this really powerful new technology in a simple, step-by-step way, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to build this whole thing up from the ground floor.
First things first, this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept we're talking about. AI agents are a real technology that's already being used today. And, they're quietly starting to completely change how work gets done.
And that really brings us to the big question, the reason we're all here. We've all got a pretty good handle on chatbots like ChatGPT, so what exactly makes an agent so different? To answer that, we're going to start with what we already know and just build up from there, piece by piece.
Let's start at level 1, with the world of AI chatbots. This should feel pretty familiar. These are the tools a lot of us are using every single day, and they're all basically applications built right on top of something called a large language model, or an LLM.
So think of an LLM as the brain that's running the whole show behind the chatbot. I've got a great way for you to picture this. An LLM is like this brilliant intern. This intern has read basically every book, every article, every website on the entire internet. But they're locked in a library. They have zero connection to the outside world.
So, let's break down the key limitations of our intern in the library. Their knowledge is absolutely massive, but it's totally self-contained. They don't know anything about you, your life, or what's happening in the news right now. And, just as important, they're passive. They're just going to sit there and wait for you to give them a specific command.
Okay, so what happens if we ask our brilliant intern a simple question that involves the outside world, like this one? What do you think is going to happen?
Yep, exactly what you'd expect. It fails. The LLM can't see your calendar, it can't check your emails, it can't see anything outside of that library of training data. And this very specific limitation, well, it creates the need for our next level.
So let's move on up to level 2 and see how this works. To solve our calendar problem, we can create something called an AI workflow. This is all about giving our AI a very specific, pre-written to-do list.
Now, what's really important to get here is that we, the humans, are still in complete control. We're creating a super rigid path for the AI to follow. It's like we've handed our intern a phone with one very specific instruction. If someone asks about a schedule, you are only allowed to look at this one Google Calendar. The AI can now use an outside tool, but only in the exact way we told it to.
Now, you might hear this fancy term, RAG, getting thrown around. Don't let it intimidate you. It just describes this process of letting an AI look something up, in an external source, before it gives you an answer. That's it. It's just a really common type of AI workflow.
This slide gives us a perfect real-world example. Just notice how a human has defined every single step. Step 1, you have to read links from this specific Google Sheet. Step 2, you have to summarize them using this specific AI. Step 3, you draft a post using another AI based on a prompt that I wrote. You see? At every single stage, a human is the one making all the decisions.
But here is the catch. Because that path is so rigid, if the final social media post isn't any good, the workflow can't fix itself. A human, me, has to go back in, manually tweak all the prompts, and then try the whole thing again. The learning, the iteration, the improvement, it's all on the human. Remember that.
All right, this brings us to level 3, AI agents. Now, this isn't just a small upgrade. It's a fundamental leap. It's a leap that completely changes the game by solving that core limitation of those rigid, human-defined workflows.
This slide right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. On the left, with a workflow, a human defines the exact path. On the right, with an agent, we take off those guardrails. The large language model itself becomes the decision maker.
And this is probably the most important sentence in this entire explainer. The AI is no longer just following a to-do list that we wrote for it. We give it a goal, and the AI itself reasons about the best way to get there.
The technical term for this is the ReACT framework, but it's incredibly simple when you break it down. An agent has to be able to reason, that is, to think about the best plan, and then act, to use the tools it has to actually execute that plan. Think, then do. That's it.
So let's look at the new superpowers an agent has. It gets a high-level goal, not some step-by-step list. It creates its own plan. It chooses its own tools, and, this is huge, it can critique its own work and try again until it meets the goal. Our intern in the library just got a massive promotion. They are no longer just following instructions. They are now the project manager.
Okay,
I know this might still sound a bit abstract, so let's look at a couple of really powerful examples of AI agents that are already out there operating in the wild today.
Here's a great business case from Neil Patel. His company gives an agent a simple goal: find us ad agencies to buy. The agent then figures out the entire plan. It scours the web, it identifies potential targets, it writes and sends personalized outreach emails, and it even analyzes the replies to give the human team notes for their first call. I mean, this is a complex, multi-step process now completely managed by the AI.
This example is so cool because it really shows you how an agent thinks. When a user just types in skier, the agent doesn't just look for that word. No, it reasons about the concept. What makes a skier? Well, it's a person on skis, usually in a snowy environment. Then it acts on that reasoning, scanning the video for objects that fit that description, and then it returns the result. That entire thought process happens completely on its own.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, right? We've gone from basic chatbots all the way up to autonomous agents. So let's put it all together with one final cheat sheet to make sure all of this really sticks. This is your big takeaway. A chatbot is a passive responder. That's our intern in the library. An AI workflow follows a predefined path set by a human. That's our intern with a super strict to-do list. But an AI agent, that's an autonomous goal seeker where the LLM itself is the decision maker. That's our intern who got promoted to project manager.
So we end here. For really the first time, we have a technology that doesn't just follow our instructions, but can independently reason and act to achieve a goal that we set for it. The crucial question is no longer just how this stuff works, but what we're going to ask it to do. What goals are truly worth pursuing?